Hey guys, Trevor Boone from Emerald City Guitars, and it is Friends Pick Friday, and today I have more of a family member than a friend. I got Rick Hines in the house. I've known Rick since I was this big, maybe?
I think so.
He's one of the first employees at Emerald City Guitars and has been a dear friend of everyone who's worked here. My dad and him have played in tons of bands together. You're just, I mean, dude, you're so important to me and my family, the shop. It's he's in here all the time, and I totally thought we did one of these with you, but we didn't, so we got him down here today.
Yeah.
One thing I want to talk about and plug is Rick started this really, really cool podcast I highly suggest checking out. It's called Chris and Rick Talk Guitars, and it features Rick Hines, as well as Chris Klein, who was the guitar tech here, the first guitar, well, there was what, Mark Sisson, right?
Yeah,
who
was one of them.
Yeah, kind of.
That's another show.
But Chris Klein was one of the early guitar techs here. He helped us do our sites, logos.
Yep.
So it's two guys who have been really, really involved in Emerald City Guitars in my life for a long time, and they have this really cool podcast, again, called Chris and Rick Talk Guitars. That is so cool because you guys talk about kind of B-side topics like secret weapon amps that you don't necessarily always think about first when you consider guitar amps, or the dark eras of Fender and Gibson, which I think that was the last one you guys did, which is so cool. Talking about the Northern era.
It's a blast.
And the post-CBS, which I love because obviously that gets a lot of, you know, that's what people like to talk crap about, but there are hidden gems in those eras that I love to find for guys because, you know, if you look hard enough, you find really good ones for a fraction of the price of some of these collector items. Yep. So go check that out. It's awesome. They just started it. They have an Instagram and podcast. It's really, really cool.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, man. So are you and Chris still playing in a group together?
No.
Chris is a killer songwriter, and you guys compliment each other so well.
He's amazing. We jam together every now and then.
Yeah.
But he's doing other bands and stuff, and then we're doing this together, which is a blast. But yeah, we're just mostly hanging and doing the podcast and jamming occasionally with guitars, and it's just super fun.
How did the podcast start?
Well, he and I love to get on the phone and BS about all this stuff, and our wives are like, okay, out of the room. So we said, well, why don't we do a podcast, you know, just jokingly, and one thing led to another, and we started this podcast, and it's a blast.
It cracks me up, dude.
I know.
You guys are so, I mean, it's great because I know you guys so well. I just picture both of you guys, I mean, exactly what it is. You guys in a room, just exactly what you said. Just,
I love it.
You know, it's awesome. It translates really well, and there's really cool information and cool tips. Things that you kind of pick up when you're inside a guitar shop for, you know, I mean, we've been here 25 years. You were here in the beginning. You've been a patron ever since. I mean, you hear all the whispers and the echoes, the secrets, the tips, and it's a cool little like corner room podcast that it's really enjoyable. I would highly suggest checking it out.
Thank you so much, man. I dig it.
And we were just talking about the Thunder Pussy shirt.
Love this band. They're awesome. They capture the essence of classic rock and take it into the new millennia. Go see them if you can, Thunder Pussy.
They're awesome.
Awesome band.
I have the same shirt. It's beautiful. I've played a lot of shows with them. They're some of my favorite girls playing music right now, and they are ridiculously cool. So kind of an unofficial side note, but if you're wondering what that says, it does indeed say Thunder Pussy.
Yeah.
Hi, Thunder Pussy. Anyways, okay, so Rick is an awesome guitar player as well as an amazing guy. I wanted to introduce the world to Rick Hines, one of my favorite dudes. And we picked out a really cool guitar to do today. So
beautiful.
We're doing this Burst series that you may or may not have heard of. We're gonna be featuring all these killer original Les Pauls from 59, 60, and we might get a 58 in here, I don't know. But we have 4 right now. So we're gonna be doing this series, different players, different amps, different setups, and kind of like just, you know, put that out to the world this month. So today we have this 1960 Gibson Les Paul Standard. That's a holy grail guitar. Those 3 years, I mean, that's the Stradivarius of guitars, and this one is absolutely exquisite. The top on this is undeniably beautiful, crazy, crazy flame. It's got the 60 thin neck. A cool part about this, which I don't know if I told you, is a couple years ago, this guitar was in our world down here, and I got to hand it to Jimmy Page, who played it at this event at the EMP. So this has some Jimmy Page DNA on it.
Oh
and
my God. He did not tell me that.
Dude, it's so cool. And he was talking about how this neck is so similar to his, and if you see, we actually have one of the Page #2s right now, and the neck profile is pretty much identical. It's awesome. So it's got some voodoo, it's got the spirit in it. I just love this guitar. And we are going to be playing it. I don't know if you can see it now, but it's a Benson Monarch head and cab. Chris Benson is such an amazing human being. He's down in Portland. He runs a crazy cool operation down there. Benson amps, they do some effects, some reverb tanks. If you have been living under a rock and you haven't heard of Benson amps, look them up now. This is a little 18-watt head that goes into a 112 cab. Aesthetically, they are gorgeous and the sound is insane. So really a pure setup, 60 burst through this little EL84 driven Benson amp. We're gonna have some fun today. So I'm gonna hand it over to Rick and he's gonna play this thing and do it some justice.
Oh my gosh.
Such a pleasure to have you in here, man. Love you so much, dude.
I love you, man.
All right, guys, thank you so much. See you next time.